What if I told you that Ford once made a truck with a refrigerator in the bed? Or that Chevrolet designed a pickup that could actually transform into a van? Over the years, automakers have built some truly bizarre trucks, so strange and short-lived that most people never even knew they existed. Today on Wiki Wheels, we're diving into 5 of the most epic truck flops ever made. One of these even cost its company over $900 million and almost sank the whole brand. Another was so unsafe it got recalled just 6 months after hitting the market. Get ready for a wild ride through some of the weirdest moments in truck history. Stories Detroit probably wishes you'd forget. Truck number 1, Chevrolet SSR. In 2003, Chevrolet launched what might be one of the most confused vehicles ever built, the SSR. What exactly was it? Even General Motors couldn't decide. Was it a convertible, a sports car, a pickup, a hot rod? So they just made it all of them at once. The SSR, which stood for Super Sport Roadster, had a retractable hardtop that folded down behind the seats. Under the hood, it started with a 5.3-liter V8 engine that made about 300 horsepower, later upgraded to a 6.0-liter LS2 engine with 390 horsepower. But despite all that, sales were weak. What made the SSR really odd wasn't just its identity crisis, it was how it was built. It used the same platform as GM's midsize SUVs like the Trailblazer, which made it heavy. At nearly 4,800 pounds, it was heavier than many full-size trucks of that time. That extra weight made it sluggish, even though it was supposed to be sporty. And the bed, pretty much useless. It was too shallow and too small to carry anything meaningful. With a starting price around $42,000 in 2003, about $66,000 in today's money, buyers were paying luxury prices for a vehicle that didn't really do anything well. GM had hoped to sell 13,000 SSRs per year. In reality, they only sold around 24,000 total over its entire 4-year run. GM reportedly lost about $5,000 on every unit, totaling over $100 million in losses. Truck number 2, Lincoln Blackwood. If you've ever wondered what a truck would look like if it was designed by someone who's never used a truck, look no further than the Lincoln Blackwood. Lincoln, Ford's luxury brand, decided to try their hand at pickups, and what they came up with was the most impractical luxury truck ever. The Blackwood was basically a Lincoln Navigator SUV from the front seats forward, with a short pickup bed tacked onto the back. But this wasn't just any bed, it was carpeted, lined with stainless steel, and covered with a powered tonneau cover. You couldn't even open it the normal way. Instead, it had split Dutch doors on the sides. Everything about it screamed not meant for work. The bed was less than 4 feet long and couldn't be exposed to rain or snow because of the carpeting. Oh, and it only came in black, with fake wood trim panels on the outside. Even more puzzling, it was rear-wheel drive only, which made no sense for luxury buyers in snowy regions. Lincoln expected to sell 18,000 Blackwoods a year, but in reality, production lasted just 15 months, from October 2001 to December 2002, with only 3,356 sold. It had a starting price of $52,500 in 2002, around $85,000 today. That got you a truck that couldn't tow, couldn't haul, couldn't go off-road, and cost the same as a European luxury car. Truck number 3, Dodge Dakota Convertible. In the late 80s, someone at Chrysler thought they had a genius idea. What if we made a convertible pickup truck? So from 1989 to 1991, the Dodge Dakota Sport Convertible was born. Here's how it worked. Chrysler built standard Dakota pickups, then sent them to a company called American. They removed the roof, reinforced the frame, and added a manual vinyl top with a plastic rear window. But as you might guess, there were problems. With the roof gone, the truck lost a lot of structural strength. The body would flex and creak even on smooth roads. And because the top wasn't well sealed, water would leak into the cabin when it rained. Plus, the top was a hassle to use. You had to get out of the truck to fasten it properly. The Dakota Convertible was marketed as a fun, outdoorsy vehicle for active people, but it didn't deliver. As a convertible, it was drafty and noisy. As a truck, the roof setup got in the way of carrying cargo. Dodge hoped to sell about 2,500 of them per year, but only made 3,759 over 3 years before pulling the plug. Today, survivors are rare, not because they're valuable, but because many rusted out due to poor sealing around the top. Coming up next is a truck so weird it looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. It ended up costing nearly $1 billion and lasted just 2 years on the market. But before we get into that massive failure, make sure you're subscribed to Wiki Wheels for more wild stories like this. Truck number 4, Toyota Hiace truck. Van truck. Before the Tacoma became America's go-to mid-size pickup, Toyota played around with a really strange idea, a cab-over truck based on a van. It was never officially sold in the US under the name van truck, but in some markets it was known as the Toyota High Ace truck or Light Ace truck. This unusual vehicle looked like a van from the front but had a cargo bed in the back. Introduced in several countries in the 1980s, it featured a cab-forward design, meaning the driver sat directly over the front wheels and the engine was located under the seats. The driving experience? Super weird. People complained about too much heat in the cabin and poor access to basic maintenance. Checking the oil often meant taking apart parts of the interior. It came with a small 2.2-liter 4-cylinder engine, making just around 101 horsepower, barely enough to move its nearly 4,000-pound body. Going from 0 to 60 could take up to 15 seconds. Even though these trucks were common in places like Japan, Asia, and Australia, Toyota never officially sold them in the US. Still, some made their way here through gray market imports or custom conversions, earning them a sort of urban legend status among Toyota fans. They weren't a total failure, but they remain one of the strangest pickup ideas ever. Truck number 5, GMC Envoy XUV. In 2004, GMC introduced what might be one of the most overly engineered solutions to a problem nobody really had, the Envoy XUV. This SUV had a retractable roof over the cargo area that could slide back, turning it into a small pickup. It also had a mid-gate system with different configurations. The rear glass could roll down into the tailgate, the rear roof section could retract, and the partition behind the second row could fold down. It was supposed to be the ultimate all-in-one vehicle. You could carry tall items like refrigerators, but still have an SUV for your family. To make all of this work, GMC built one of the most complicated roof systems ever seen on a production car, with tons of motors, seals, and moving parts. But the system was unreliable. The seals wore out fast, the roof leaked, and the mechanisms often broke. The partition was awkward to use. GMC thought they'd sell 30,000 of these a year, but only managed to move just over 13,000 before scrapping the project after only 2 years. The whole thing cost GM about $125 million in development, money they never got back.